Hello again, fellow writers. Welcome to another conversation about writing. We're going to talk today about arguments. We've talked in other instances about arguments, how to construct an argument, how to structure one, how to produce a credible and strong thesis statement. And today we're just going to talk about and try to illustrate the process of backing up your thesis with persuasive lines of argument. In other words, how do you arrange some of the central points that you are going to make in your line of argument in order to back up a thesis? And we're going to do that by using an example of a thesis statement or a central claim that was written by a student by the name of Sam Jacobs. And this is featured in the textbook Rules for Writers by Nancy Summers and Diana Hacker. And we're going to draw from that to kind of illustrate this process in a few simple steps. So our thesis statement, as constructed by Mr. Jacobs, reads, "The shift from print to online news provides unprecedented opportunities for readers to become more engaged with the news, to hold journalists accountable, and to participate as producers, not simply as consumers." So Mr. Jacobs is going to try to make this point and persuade his readers of the truth of this statement, that online news has given new opportunities in those three areas: becoming more engaged as readers, holding journalists accountable, and helping us as consumers of news be the producers of news, not just consumers of news. So how is he going to do that? How is his argument going to unfold in a way that persuades us of the truth of this reasonable claim, but a debatable claim? As we know, thesis statements are debatable. They can be disagreed upon by reasonable people. So he has to persuade his readers of the truth of his claim. So let's look at the supporting claims that Mr. Jacobs is going to bring to bear on this particular thesis statement. So the first one is that print news, the traditional form of news, has traditionally had a one-sided relationship with its readers, delivering information for passive consumption. So he's setting up the first point of his argument, saying it's a passive relationship that we're talking about as the past or traditional way in which news has been delivered by journalists to its readers. Okay, so it has a implication that we're going to be talking about that particular situation as a negative. His next point, going to the point he's discussing, that is online news, he points out that online news invites readers to participate in a collaborative process, to question and even contribute to the content. So he's built on his first statement that it's been one-sided and has pointed out that online news makes that one-sided situation into a collaborative process, and that consumers or readers of news can question and contribute to the content. So that's another point in his argument supporting his thesis statement. So let's take another look at that thesis statement. Here it is again. Just read it again so that we're refreshed as we look at the continuing line of arguments that Jacobs brings to bear on this particular claim. Okay, here's another argument to go with the two that we've just looked at. Links within news stories provide transparency, allowing readers to move easily from the main story to original sources, related articles, or background materials. Now you'll notice that all of these are claims. These are not supported by evidence as yet. At this point, we're just looking at the claims that support the central claim. So how can we make our case, and what are we going to allege, and what are we going to ask our readers to consider as we move through making our case for our central thesis statement, which again will flash on the screen here for you. Okay, so there it is again. There's the thesis statement. And as we've said, we've had three. This is our third supporting claim, that links within news stories provide transparency, allowing readers to move easily from the main story to original sources, related articles, or background materials. So it's a better form of news product, he contends. Here's another claim. Technology has made it possible for readers to become news producers, posting text, audio, images, and video of news events. So here's another claim that he is making that says online news has changed in a positive direction the equation between the journalist and the news consumer, if you will. Okay, one more argument over here, and that is citizen journalists can provide valuable information sometimes more quickly than traditional journalists can. So there's an additional point for our thesis statement. Okay, citizen journalists can provide valuable information sometimes more quickly than traditional journalists can. So basically he's made the case through several lines of argument or claims in his line of argument that online journalism has many advantages over traditional journalism. Now, he's not there yet. He has not got a paper yet. And the point from here on out is to support the claims, to make evidence apply, factual evidence, and we'll talk about that in another conversation, that makes these claims credible to the reader. But for now, what the process has been is to have a central claim that makes a more global kind of statement, and then to outline the claims that you're going to use to support that central claim.